Today I've made for you my appetizer. This is going to be onion Irish fritters, and they are my appetizer to serve with sour cream. And we'll start that off before lunch. And what I've made it with is just a simple dish of onions, mostly because that's what it is. And we're going to put plain flour. Then we're going to add buttermilk, baking powder, salt, and a tad of sugar, and a little black pepper. And that's basically all to that. So now that we have this mixed up, we will stir it up a little bit, and to get it to the stage of dipping so that I may fry it. So I will add just a small amount of oil. Doesn't take a lot, just enough to turn it. So we'll get that hot. It'll dry out shortly. So in the meantime, I'll be stirring this up. If we have this too stiff, of course we'll have a gummy. When we have it too watery, then you have another problem. So you have to get it somewhat in the neighborhood of right. And let's hope that's that. Okay, I've stirred it up, and you can see basically onions. So let's give it a try and see what we have here. I'm going to cut this down just a hair, because I don't want it to fry all over the stove. Okay, just a spoonful should do. Clean off the bottom of the spoon. So far so good. I think these are just great at any time, not necessarily just for appetizers, just any time. Even the kids will eat these and they don't like onions. Let me get my spatula. We're back, and at this time we will see how the turning will go. You've got the right temperature here to get the results that we're looking for. A little too soon on that one, but anyway, as you can see, they're fluffy. They're going to be tasty, and so they're really great. We're back, and we will begin again to finish this up, and hopefully have a little better luck with it. We have a different temperature, and well, they're looking good so far. So let's keep up the good work here. Looking good. I did crowd it a little bit, trying to get probably more than I should get in here, but we're going to make it work anyway. This time we're going to keep it shifted a little bit so that assures that we won't have any stickiness. Sorry about that. So you only need a little bit of oil for it, and it's very quick. It's just a nice little thing to have for your appetizer. Like I say, we're from the South, love to cook, love to eat, for sure. Like lots of things on our plate. Just the thing that you grow up doing. I was raised on a farm in Alabama. My grandmother had a very small farm. It was only 218 acres that narrowed down to maybe 60 acres. And she made it work. There was always someone at our farm chopping, picking, whatever we had in the fields. And the ladies of the house who didn't work in the fields, they did all the cooking. And when the farm hands got through working in the fields, they came to the house where the ladies had prepared the meals. So it would be a group of men mostly. And on the table would have just an array of vegetables from the fields and all of what they had to serve. And usually it's peas, greens, so on. And there's always a big fruit pie in the table. So you saw the men jaw-jabbing at each other, teasing whoever picked the most cotton, who didn't. It's just one of those kind of things. And as a kid standing on the side watching all of this, it was interesting and it was fun. It gave me a wonderful feeling seeing the togetherness of them. And so, I guess through my life, I've kind of relived that when being a hostess I am. I'm always giving parties, always. I love people as well as I love food. And I just think they go together so well. You got everybody eating and happy, you got a good thing. And I am known all around town and some a little neighborhood celebrity of cooking and entertaining. Like I say, we're not fancy, but we will feed you well and feed you good. And they tell me, not sure, that I cook the best collard greens around town, so we'll find out somewhere along the way. Anyway, this is somewhat of what these are supposed to be. Not as pretty as I like, but they do turn out better. So we're finished with that, and we're going to move on. We're going to start them off in cold grease. Sounds funny, but if you want a pork chop to get tender, it needs to start off in cold pan in the cold grease. You start it off too hot, then the meat tightens up and it gets tough. Now that we've completed that, we're going to move on to our next dish, which is going to be Porterhouse pork chop. What I wanted to say about the pork chop, even though it may be very thick, it will cook very nicely when I start it off cold. And we'll gradually cook. It's a little slow process, but it's all worth it in the end. It's going to be very tender and tasty. And we will put a sauce over it, and that would complete that. Okay, we'll get started with that. Okay, we're back, and we're with our entree, which is the Porterhouse pork chops. Very thick meat, and we're starting it off in cold grease, and we're going to slow cook it until it gets a little tender, about halfway. Then we'll turn it over. And strangely enough, we will continue to cook it, or you can put it into the oven, so it can go either way. It's going to be tender no matter what. And so we're finished with that. We got simple seasoning on it. There's salt, black pepper, garlic, and maybe some slap your mama. A little bit of that. Slap your mama is a very good seasoning, and it has a little bit of all things in it. So it does great for pork and just about anything that you put it with. So we're using it on our pork chop today. And just a few, we're going to turn it over and move on to our next thing. But right now we're going to just, like I say, slow cook it. And I'll tell you a few stories while we're waiting. How about that? I am, like I say, a Southern girl, born and raised. Spent some years in California, inspired by cooks out there as well. I had an aunt who was, she was my stepfather's sister. Her name was Rose. Aunt Rose could cook anything. When the family said they were going over to Aunt Rose's house, I'm already in the car because I know that we're going to get a great meal. And my mother too was a cook. I learned how to cook dressing from her before she passed away. My mother had an aneurysm in front of me and died, but anyway, she was a great cook too, so I was inspired by her. I learned something from every person that I'm around. From your cooking teacher in school, high school, and like I say, I was at home, having babies, couldn't go to school, so I kind of sent my own stuff to school. I ordered this cookbook called School of McCall's. School of McCall's had just about anything you needed to know. As a young cook, I certainly wouldn't have not known how to bake a chicken breast in the oven and not have it dry. McCall's taught me how to do that. And on, how to make great pie crusts and on. So that boosted me, even though I already had it in me the desire to cook. But it certainly did help. And and then over the years, I became a caterer, still is. We just recently, in our home, and do a lot of repasts for people. And even some famous people, believe it or not. Alabama Department of Athletics, I can't think his name, but his wife, I did his, and they were their roots happened to be in South Alabama with us. So, I can tell you lots of stories about that. So, and I meet a lot of great people, but the person I just was very surprised about was that I done a catering for him, a repast for his mother. He was in North Carolina. The mother was over in our area of town. And so he says on the phone, he's telling me what he wants, and he says, I want this and that. He's going on about the food, and he says, oh, this is going to be good. I said, sir, you sound like you know me. He says, I do. I'm going, oh, yeah, well, how does that work? Then I thought, okay, I know. You heard that I was the one of the top 10 restaurants in Alabama? He said, no. He said, I found out you was the top 5 restaurant in Alabama. I said, shut your mouth. So I did not know that. But anyway, it's just food is always my deal. And I was excited to know that as well. I did not know, and I don't keep up with my ratings because I have to work hard anyway, so it didn't really matter. But this is on its way. It's a little premature of turning it, but you can see right there that it's going to be cooked very well shortly. So we're going to ounce it up just a little bit because we've gotten over the part that you put it on to the heat. So now we're going to step it up just a hair. Okay, we're back. And we're almost finished. This is pretty much what your product should look like. We just wanted to brown it some. And so we're going to finish it out in the oven. So we're to that stage, and then we'll be back to see the finished product. Okay, we're back. And what we're going to do now, we're going to move on to our next little dish. This is just bell pepper rice, and it's basic. All of this is very simple cooking, nothing elaborate, just a lot of food very quickly cooked. So we're going to saute a little garlic into the pot, and we're going to put a few, because it's called bell pepper rice. I think it's just for the color of it, not necessarily does anything special, but it's a pretty thing. And you can use all green, or you can use colorful red peppers, just whatever you like. We'll put those in and let them saute a little bit, and then we'll add the rice to it. But while we're waiting, we'll go on to the next little item. So we got ahead of you a little bit. What we did with this, these are just baked sweet potatoes, and a very quick way to do it is, you can wait all day and cook the potatoes, or you can take some foil, put your potato in it, gash it in little pieces. We call it gashing, you may call it cutting, whatever, and put butter between the little slices, or a little cooking oil, whatever works for you, and put some seasoning like a little bit of salt, cinnamon, whatever you like, and sugar, brown sugar, whatever. Close it up, seal it a few minutes, and it's done. It's just another way to cook sweet potatoes in a quick way. I'm all about quick, right? My patience is short. So you can just take out what you want and just eat your piece like that and add it to your meal. In the South, we tend to blend flavors. Like I see this is the sweet potato going very well with the rice and the beans that are coming up, and as well as the meat. Sweet potatoes and pork always go together very well. And that is our goal that we're trying to reach today. And I'll be right back. Okay, we're moving on to our next dish, and that is lima beans. We're big fans of dry lima beans, black-eyed peas. We like all kinds of beans in the South. We love red beans, so you can't outdo us with the beans. We love them. So at this stage that the lima beans are in, what we start with, this is a very quick way to cook lima beans, is that some people may think that you have to soak your lima beans, and you can, and it's fine. But we learned that you put your lima beans in cold water, and you bring them to a boil, and you cook them like 15 minutes, and you put the lid on them. You come back in an hour, and you will find that they're much tender. So they only need a little bit more cooking, like a good 30 minutes, hour at the very most. So that's better than trying to cook them just straight dry. That won't work very well. And you don't have to soak them all night like maybe black-eyed peas. It's better if you soak them. But lima beans keep all of their flavor if you just bring them to a boil them for 15 minutes, and then cut the stove off. When you come back, you start them over at a medium and let them cook till they're tender, and that's it. Well, today we're using bacon. Of course, ham hocks or any other meat would have been better, but just the smoke flavor is going to be good anyway. So what we did, we fried the bacon just a little bit to be able to get some of the flavor out of the bacon. It's going to get some out even if you boil it, but if you fry it just a little bit, you're going to obtain a lot more flavor that way. So what we have here is just a little salt, a little oil, and a little black pepper. Of course, it's up to you to put whatever you like in yours, you know, to each his own about that. But this is where we're at with this. So you can see that they're not far from being done. So how large they've swelled up to be, and they're good too. And while you were away, we cooked our rice. This is the bell pepper rice that we sauteed the garlic and the bell pepper in. So that's finished. We got our sweet potatoes ready. We got that. So all we like is our meat and our dessert. We don't have any bread today, but maybe another day. So that's all we waited. So we'll see you later. Okay, we're back and we are finishing up our corn. Nothing else to do for that is get it boiled. I am going to add a sprinkle of sugar, not much because it's sweet already. And I will add just a little bit of salt. Season it so it's not just plain bland corn. It has a little flavor. And then you can either add butter to the water or butter to the dish. So I choose to butter the dish so I won't waste too much. Okay, we're back. And at this stage we have the corn and it's ready. And it's been cooked and nothing to do now. I've added a little salt and a little sugar to it to give it the flavor that it needs. So now I'm just run it through a little butter while we are waiting for all of it. Okay, that's about set. So we're gonna plate it up like this. And the reason it's in two different sizes of, some people like a bigger piece and some people like a small. So we're out to satisfy everybody if we can. So there you go. And also put butter on it this way as well. Much as you like, little as you like. So that has been done. And our next project is going to be, we're going to fry some cornbread. Hey, we're back and we're going to try and put the finishing touch on this. And of course, cornbread is always the finishing touch. So we're going to put a little meal here. I would estimate this small portion, and it's hard to make small amounts. I would say the ratio would be 4 to 1. Whatever amount of flour you use, 3 times the meal. Get that blended, because all you want the flour to do is just help stick the meal together. And because I'm using hot water, it's going to work like that. So when we get it all mixed up like so, we're going to stir the hot water into it. This is what the South calls hot water cornbread. And we fry it. We like baked bread as well, but on a quick note, fried cornbread is always good. We like the crispiness of it. We add a little water and stir it in, and then we add more. Okay, I think we have it fairly mixed up. And so you want it not too stiff, and you don't want it too soupy. This is the deal with the fried cornbread. The thinner it is, the crispier it is. We make it thick, it won't be crispy. We like crispy, so we made it thin. There we go. Show you a little trick with the spoon. If I heap it up like that and put it in a pile, of course it'll be a lump in it. So if I pick it up like so, and take my spoon and spread it out, you see the difference? I got it thin. Oh, you see the difference? Is like so. So it's always a little trick to everything. You learn your little tricks, they kind of help you out a little bit. So that's how I go with my cornbread. Okay, we got us a nice little batch right there, and all we need is a spatula. This will work for the moment. Yeah, the first one is on its way. It's looking pretty good. Yeah, see, it's supposed to be solid like that. And we've got our little drain paper here that it will be going on shortly. we're gonna go with the pork. So if I let this brown and get solid enough, I think the pork will work pretty good. So that's what we're gonna do. So after the cornbread is ready, our lima beans are ready almost, and we have our corn, and we'll be ready to fix our plate. And the dessert is cooling. So we have buttermilk pie as our dessert. So you know the South love their buttermilk and everything, and so that's going to be our plate, and we're going to plate it all up shortly and call it good. Okay, we're back, and we're in the process of taking the cornbread from the fryer. Get it brown, a little light brown, some is a little dark brown. You have a variety. So we've got that done, and we're gonna get our plate fixed shortly, and it'll be time to grub. Okay, they look almost like the fritters, and but it's because I didn't put it in deep grease. If I put it in a little deeper grease, the bread would be. But I wanted it thin to cook quickly for this, and so we use a small amount of oil to get that product that way. So we are done with that. Now we're going to move on to plating it up. We're going to put all the things that we have prepared and show you the finished product. Hey, we're back. At this time we're kind of completing our plating. So we're going to start with the meat. That is the main dish. So we're going to start with our pork chop. I'm going to turn it over just a little bit so I can get a little shine on it. And remember, we're Southerners and we like everything to shine. So there's our meat. It goes on the side because we have so many other items to put on here. So I got to make room for it. So we're going to put our lima beans into a little bowl to have the space that is needed to put the space. So we're going to put you a little piece of meat on that just for it to look good, okay? Got our meat, got our beans, and another thing we like in the South, we love rice. We really love rice. Then we're going to put the rice on this side so we don't have two white items in a row. Next time we do this, we're going to have our greens to go in there. But at this time, we're going to take what we have and do the best we can with it. So we're going to plate up some corn. That has to go in. That is your vegetables. These are your starches and vegetables and your meat. What we have here is baked sweet potatoes. We took the sweet potatoes. This is just a quick way to do them. Take your potato, wash it off, whatever. And then you want it to make little gashes in it. The little gashes butter goes between the gashes to help tenderize the potatoes, cook it quickly, and there you are. You can let it stay in the foil or you can take it out of the foil. And this is our little cornbread to go with it, with the beans. So we'll put them close to the beans so that we have room for this, for our sweet potatoes. This is our our appetizer. And this is a completion of a simple meal. It's not all the way country, but it's just a simple meal. We're all about simple but good. It's not so much the presentation always, it will be the taste. You want a party in your mouth, not always in your eyes. So we have a simple, and we got our dessert coming up, and our dessert is buttermilk pie. So we'll take that out and slice it right before you. Okay, we're back, and we're finally finished with this. We have our entree, we have our vegetables, which is dry lima beans, corn on the cob, sweet potato, bell pepper rice, fried cornbread. First of all, this was our appetizer, which is sour cream and onion patties. And this is our salad, or just a side dish to go with this, to access this, and buttermilk pie. And that is our meal. And I hope you enjoyed being with us, and please join us again. We thank you so much. And this is Pat Grace from South Alabama.